Hey everyone, how are you? And welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, welcome for the very first time. I'm glad you came by. We're heading into the new year with bombshell news that notorious record executive Scooter Braun has deactivated both his Instagram and Twitter pages. I've been meaning to talk about how he scrambled to save face after Taylor Swift condemned his acquisition of Big Machine Records, a record label that was founded by an entrepreneur in Nashville that gave her a chance as a teenage country musician and had been like a second home to her until she departed in 2018. Scooter's purchase of Big Machine Records meant that he had the rights to the master recordings of Taylor's first 6 albums, a realization that had both infuriated and distressed her because she claimed that she never got a chance to buy them back. Additionally, some of Scooter's clients had allegedly organized a well-planned cyberbullying campaign against her, with Kanye West being a key participant. I hope you can stick around for when that video comes out by hitting the subscribe button because there's a lot to unpack from this saga. But before we dive into that, let's unpack the plot twist in this one. I had the immediate realization that Scooter didn't deactivate his social media pages to take a break. Multiple users were quick to believe that something dubious could be occurring behind the scenes that involves him. A potentially nasty legal fight is speculated to be taking place under our noses, and the plaintiff could be Justin Bieber. The rift between them took me by surprise because Scooter Braun was more than just his manager. He was the closest man he had to a father. He coached him on how to handle fame at a young age and continuously looked out for his well-being. Or so I've heard. That loyalty is admirable. Other than that, it caused me to forget for a moment that he was the same guy that tried to put a leash on Taylor Swift, and when he does this to his clients, it's when the symbolic relationship stops being mutual. I was blindsided to learn that Justin slowly started to develop animosity towards Scooter after everything he had done for him, but the more I realized that he was sexualized by adult entertainers that interacted with him and by the music industry to a wider extent, the more I believed that his falling out with Scooter may be justified. The Express Tribune had published an article on the same day Scooter deactivated his social media pages that gives a brief summary of what supposedly led to his online disappearance. Scooter Braun deactivates Instagram after Justin Bieber unfollows him amid ongoing tensions. Scooter Braun deactivates Instagram after Justin Bieber unfollows him, sparking speculation. This was published on the 5th of January. Scooter Braun, a prominent figure in the music industry, deactivated his Instagram account shortly after being unfollowed by longtime client Justin Bieber. The move comes amid growing speculation about their strained relationship, which has been under scrutiny for years. Scooter Braun is not the only individual that Justin had unfollowed and blocked. He also cut off ties with Scooter's business partner Allison Kay, bodyguard Kenny Hamilton, Drew House creative director Ryan Good, and former mentor/collaborator Usher, a move that daunted his fanbase. These key figures on Justin's team had played crucial roles in shaping him into the heartthrob that many girls I went to high school with pined for. He wouldn't have acclimated the wealth and admiration he is known for today without these 5 individuals to guide him with growing up in the spotlight. Justin Bieber's unfollowing of Braun on Instagram over the weekend caught the attention of fans and industry insiders. According to Billboard, their professional ties have been rocky since 2023, culminating in Braun stepping back from management last year. Despite this, Bieber remains contractually tied to Braun for another 4 years, following a 2020 contract amendment. Shortly after Bieber's unfollowing, Braun deactivated his Instagram account, sparking questions about the timing. Adding to the speculation, fans on platforms like FOMO noted that Bieber's wife, Hailey Bieber, has reportedly blocked Braun on social media. While these actions remain unaddressed by either party, they highlight a shift in their professional and personal dynamics. Braun's departure from Instagram comes as he transitions from management to his role as CEO as Hybe America, North America's division of South Korea's Hybe Corporation. While his deactivation has fueled rumors about ongoing tensions, it also underscores Braun's evolving public presence as he moves away from traditional artist management. Neither Braun nor Bieber has commented on the recent developments. However, the deactivation signals potential shifts in their relationship, leaving fans and commentators to speculate about the implications for both Braun's career and Bieber's next steps. The fact he unfollowed almost all of them at once is a sign that he wants them to have no part in his musical career from here on out. As rumors that he is planning a comeback with a new album are growing stronger, he has his mind set on taking it in a different direction. Other users believe that he is trying to distance himself from the mountainous legal issues P. Diddy is currently bombarded with. I disagree with this theory because Justin still follows him on Instagram. However, that might change by the time I get this video out.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
Crazy.
Like how Usher was mentored by P. Diddy, he went on to mentor Scooter Braun, and they have since been lifelong friends. He was previously one of his clients before he departed from his company, but it did not affect their personal and professional relationship. In a now deleted Instagram post that was archived in an article on 2Fab, Scooter wrote a caption about his attendance to Usher's Las Vegas residency concert in 2022, that he knew him since he was 19 years old and that he, along with Lil Jon and Jermaine Dupri, helped launch his career in the music industry. That could contribute to Justin's decision to unfollow Usher. It's another step he's taken to walk away from Scooter's shadow and leave the past behind. He may still be legally bound to his contract with his company for the next couple years as of this recording, but I can see Justin suing his way out of it if Scooter refuses to part ways with him willingly. When asked about the situation in a DM a fan sent to him, Kenny Hamilton replied that he had no idea why Justin unfollowed him. It came out of the blue to him because he was focusing on other avenues and had wished Justin all the best. He ended the reply with, "He knows I'm always here whenever he needs or wants to talk," which is certainly not going to happen because this is a schism that's been simmering for what seems like ages. The timing of Scooter being unfollowed and getting rid of his social media platforms is not by sheer coincidence. Justin had been through a lot of turmoil growing up in the spotlight, and it is noticeable in an interview he did with Zane Lowe on Apple Music, where he tearfully opened up about wanting to protect Billie Eilish when she rapidly rose to fame like he did. He felt that no one was there for him when he needed the most support, and he wanted to break that cycle by being that friend to Billie.
There was a great moment when you came face to face, or not really, because I think you were wearing a mask,
Right.
but you came face to face with Billie Eilish,
Right.
who, in her own way, albeit in a different era, dealing with this very, very public explosion of success and of attention.
That too.
And by the way, even more now,
It was so quick.
quick.
Yeah. And she's crazy. She's a superstar.
Superstar, right? So,
Yeah.
so you're there and you see her and you see the way she's reacting to you. And I wonder what was going through your mind, because I've never had a chance to ask you that, because I know what was going through her mind, because I've had a chance to ask her that, and it was pretty clear in the video what's going through her mind. She can't even. What was going through your mind when you saw that kind of reaction? And also now in the knowledge that you were just coming out of that space yourself.
I wanted to protect the moment. I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get. We never know how many opportunities we're going to get with anybody. I mean, I'm tearing up thinking about it, just with the Kobe situation, You just never know. And so I just wanted to be a good example, you know, and yeah.
Did you feel protective of her?
Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, you know, telling me they love me and, you know, just turn their back on you in a second. So yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, you know, she can count on me. But at the end of the day, I'm never gonna force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, you know, let her do her thing, and if she ever needs me, I'm gonna be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and yeah. So yeah, I just want to protect her, you know. I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, you know, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Wanting to provide Billy the support he never had demonstrates that Justin had matured in the last decade. When I read about his deteriorating relationship with his fanbase and that he had a couple of run-ins with the law, I thought that he was never going to get his act together. But his decision to show a vulnerable side of himself in that interview on Apple Music proved me wrong. Good for him. I'm proud of him.
Still, you know, I'm still learning how to do all that.
And still learning how to trust people?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think boundaries, to be honest, is, like, key, you know, understanding, like, there's people that play certain roles in my life and kind of just let them play that role and not give them access to certain parts of my life. And that's something you have to do, not only as for your own emotional well-being, but I think as a business leader as well, you know, and something I'm learning. I've made some mistakes over the past year or two, just Scooter's over there probably laughing. Just I do I have a problem with trust, but then there's areas of like I do trust people a little too much sometimes.
Bad judgments?
Sometimes. I'm just working through just kind of trying to figure out all that sort of stuff.
People who take advantage? Do you feel like people have taken advantage of you in the past?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, people take advantage, of course. But just kind of trying to figure out how to navigate being married. I'm friggin' married now, and I got the best wife in the world.
Justin and Haley have a tight-knit, caring relationship, and they share a son together. Holy moly, I feel old knowing that Justin is a dad now. They frequently post about how crazy they are for each other and that Haley stayed by his side at some of his lowest moments. Last month, rumors that they are getting divorced were circulating on mainly TikTok using cryptic posts on the couple's separate pages as supposed proof, but Haley debunked them with a cheeky response she posted on Instagram. She reposted a clip of someone stating, "You're not well, and it's okay," and a rant along with a caption she typed that stated, "Me to all of you on the internet." She's visibly upset by the videos on TikTok that are attempting to spill the beans on her and Justin. But unfortunately for her, the divorce rumors have gained increased traction when Justin unfollowed her on Instagram, and it drove him to post this now deleted story claiming that his account was hacked. If it's true that someone close to Scooter had logged into Justin's account to get him to unfollow Haley, it solidifies the certainty that he did not provide the support he needed in his career. Furthermore, stories of adult public figures acting inappropriately towards him in interviews that have resurfaced in an article on BuzzFeed News showed that it was virtually non-existent. For instance, at the 2011 Brit Awards, James Corden, its host at the time, sat next to Justin and repeatedly told him how amazing he smells.
Can I say this? Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes.
Ew!
Justin was visibly uncomfortable. He may have not known how to respond to that remark in that moment, nor could he tell him to cut it out because he was anxious about what the immediate reaction could have been. It can happen to most people that feel awkward after they're told they smell nice, since it's a remark that isn't made in normal conversation, unless the other person is flirting with them or the remark is followed by the question, "Are you wearing cologne or perfume?" But regardless, someone being complimented for their scent is a touchy subject, at least for me. James then asked Justin how old he was, and after he answered he was 16 going on 17, he replied that he doesn't remember smelling that good at 16. Like, how demented would someone who was 33 years old have to be to say that to a teenager, let alone on live TV? The title of the video on YouTube where I found this clip downplays the awkwardness in the interaction by referring to it as a hilarious interview. Watching Justin be in that position on camera is agonizing and not something to laugh about. I've also seen some comments below that video where users claim that James sniffing Justin is how gay men behave. He's actually straight, but even if he was gay, that has nothing to do with his behavior toward Justin at the Brit Awards. That's apples to oranges, and let's not use this incident to rationalize spewing hate towards gay men. One other incident that stood out to me that was infuriating to watch was at the 40th American Music Awards, where Jenny McCarthy kissed Justin on his neck before she groped his butt.
I feel violated right now. Wow.
She later explained in a couple of interviews with Entertainment Tonight and Access Hollywood that she was infatuated with him and sought out the opportunity to live out her cougar fantasy. She gave murky answers to a reporter affiliated with ET about her feelings for Justin that rubbed me the wrong way. When she said dating him would be the cougar score of the century, and she summarized her behavior on stage as quote-unquote molesting him like it was a silly, girly thing to do, I was repulsed. I couldn't watch the interview without getting agitated about how casual her behavior was treated.
I just got to neck Justin Bieber and grab his butt.
I saw that you totally, it was like a full-on almost makeout session.
It was a little cougar scary.
Yeah.
But I took the opportunity in the window, considering I'll never get to do it again, and kind of molested him.
Well, we hear that he may be back on the market now and available.
Can you imagine how hilarious that would be? That would be the cougar score of the century. Jenny McCarthy dates Justin Bieber.
Would you?
I want some Bieber fever, and I want a Bieber rash.
I want it all.
It'd be like cougar rape.
If her excuse for grabbing Justin like that was that her emotions took over and that she couldn't help herself, that's a problem that she should have gone to therapy for instead of giving in to her urges and groping him on stage. It doesn't matter that he was physically attractive to Jenny, it was still a predatory act that was downplayed as some quote-unquote cougar fantasy, and the reporter that interviewed her was laughing along with her. Saying that Justin Bieber looked delicious is the same logic that SA apologists use when they say that this woman looked delicious in that low-cut top and tight sweatpants, so the dude that came onto her couldn't help himself. See how disgusting that sounds? The fact that rapper Pitbull told two radio reporters the following Monday that he wished Jenny would have touched him like that is a stark reminder of why male victims of assault are more reluctant to come forward than female victims, especially if the perpetrator is a woman. If a male victim discovered that another man stated that they'd want to be touched in a way that was harmful to him, it could induce feelings of isolation and self-loathing. You might argue that what Justin dealt with at the hands of these entertainers was from a time where that behavior was normal, but little has changed in regards to how child stars are looked at in the entertainment industry. About a couple of weeks ago, YouTube hid this comment that was left on a personalized video I paid Dylan Keenwell to record for me as a birthday present on Cameo. Dylan was 17 when he recorded that message, so reading that comment made me nervous. I can't confirm if this user that posted it is somewhere around that age or older. I checked and they literally made an account on January 10th. It was basically a blank channel, but I think YouTube's system was justified to hide that user's comment. Similarly, I found a video on TikTok where someone talked about a time that Gracie Abrams posted a story on Instagram back when she was 18 where she had jokingly expressed interest in getting intimate with then 14-year-old Finn Wolfhard. Her comment upset multiple people that followed her, and I was just starting to like her music, so it was a letdown for me. She had since taken accountability upon realizing that she was careless about the gravity of her comment and apologized for it in several posts before deleting them. The scandal blew over as quickly as it came, mainly because as Gracie's audience grew, they agreed that as off-putting as her comment about Finn was, they thought that due to their 4-year age difference, it wasn't that big of a deal. I guarantee they wouldn't see it that way if an 18-year-old guy posted about wanting to be down with a 14-year-old actress he'd seen on Nickelodeon. It highlights the gender bias present in both that situation and the media's reactions to Jenny McCarthy groping Justin Bieber. It doesn't change the fact that someone that just entered adulthood had made a comment about being into a pre-adolescent kid is going to cause people to question what goes on in their head, to say the absolute least. Ever since P. Diddy had been arrested on charges involving sex trafficking in addition to racketeering and is now facing over 24 lawsuits alleging that he used his prestige to take advantage of multiple victims, I can't help but think about how Scooter Braun was willing to let Justin Bieber associate with less than trustworthy individuals he had built connections with. It's a relief to see that he has realized that the victimization he faced should never have happened to him and is actively stepping away from the team that led him down that destructive path. So it looks like Taylor Swift dodged a bullet by refusing to sign back with Big Machine Records, and she did the right thing by calling out Scooter Braun. The argument that Scooter Braun had enabled that exploitation may sound overdramatic, but it holds humongous weight when you think about it. The Bieber fever back in my high school years was a gold mine, though it has waned ever so slightly nowadays as new singers emerge and that Justin has started a family. He is still an icon and an inspiration to these musicians. As long as his popularity flourished like crops during a harvest season and young girls were fawning over him, it meant Scooter Braun would be receiving a bigger paycheck each time a new album is released and he goes on tour. Justin made him a rich man, so he kept being this mentor figure to him in order to turn his company into a talent management conglomerate. Justin has been with him for as long as he has a career, and despite the scandals he was in as he entered adulthood, Scooter still stuck up for him. His fatherly relationship with Justin continued to be evident when he commented, "Love you and proud of you," in an Instagram reel he posted where he had to disclose that he has severe Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, a type of shingles that can cause severe facial paralysis.
Obviously, as you can probably see from my face, I have this syndrome called Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. And it is from this virus that attacks the nerve in my ear and my facial nerves and has caused my face to have paralysis. As you can see, this eye is not blinking. I can't smile on this side of my face. This nostril will not move. So there's full paralysis in this side of my face. So for those who are frustrated by my cancellations of the next shows, I'm just physically, obviously not capable of doing them. This is pretty serious, as you can see. I wish this wasn't the case. But obviously my body's telling me I gotta slow down. And I hope you guys understand. And I'll be using this time to just rest and relax and get back to 100% so that I can do what I was born to do. But in the meantime, this ain't it.
Previously, not long after the tour kicked off after a 2-year delay, he was diagnosed with the coronavirus, forcing him to postpone a couple of his concerts. but the news of his paralysis 2 Septembers ago caused the tour to be cancelled entirely. His fans that bought tickets were clearly devastated but understanding because a performer's personal health always comes first. But a backhanded agent like Scooter Braun would have mixed feelings, especially if a cancellation results in loss of income. In spite of his concern for Justin's well-being, as he revealed to the New York Times, he was anxious when Ariana Grande backed out of her Dangerous Woman tour after a terrorist attack had taken place outside of Manchester Arena in England. So he had worked around the clock to organize a benefit concert to raise funds for the victims, with Justin Bieber among one of the headlining artists. I know Scooter's generosity can refute any claim that he hasn't treated his clients fairly, but he is a businessman, and at the end of the day, money and prestige is what he cares about. My first thought was that Justin's personal struggles and the cancellations strained their relationship, but he remained that fatherly figure that never gave up on him, until someone on Scooter's team was alleged to have hacked into Justin's Instagram account. I had hoped they'd continue to hold each other in high regards, because an experienced manager putting a good word for him goes a long way. The worst that happened to Justin under Scooter Braun's tutelage was that he couldn't live a normal life. Clearly, that's what happens with every child star, but some I've interacted with in meet and greets turned out fantastic, because they were surrounded by authority figures that cared for their safety, and they were still able to have a childhood. The problem with Justin Bieber is that neither Scooter, nor Allison, nor his own mother, Patty Millette, guided him to take responsibility with his life. As he got older and got in regular trouble with the law, she kept her distance from him. I know that teenagers and young adults will want their parents to give them some space, because trying to get along with mine when I was in high school was challenging. I understand that Patty was doing her best to maintain contact with Justin while still respecting his wishes to make his own decisions, but she should have put more effort into being more present and patient with him instead of being worried that she'd be that mom talking about his behavior. Her response to the criticism she got, to me, was summarized as, "I'm just going to do nothing because my son is a man now. He can do whatever the hell he wants. I'm not getting involved." Scooter Braun admitted himself in a 2012 interview that Patty was a laid-back parent, so he felt it was on him to be a good role model for him, but he couldn't protect him from the downward spiral he was going through. Based on the inordinate amount of time he had spent with P. Diddy in his early career, Scooter didn't put in the bare minimum to try. Hello, this is Present Day Wesley cutting in to update you guys on Scooter's online activity. When I was recording voiceovers for this video, his social media pages were still shut down. However, it wasn't until I was in the middle of editing that I noticed that they mysteriously reappeared after a month. Scooter's last post on Instagram was 4 weeks ago, and his last post on X was from last July. Neither him nor a spokesperson from his company have said anything about his month-long disappearance, but comments are limited to those he follows, and users on X cannot reply directly to a handful of his newer tweets. They'd get a pop-up message stating that only those Scooter mentioned can reply to him. In a negative, high-profile PR situation like this, allowing a limited number of people to interact openly is never a good sign. It looks like he may have deactivated his accounts to lay low from the wrath of believers after they first discovered that Justin unfollowed him. But knowing that rumors of Scooter's implication in P. Diddy's case are continuing to circulate based on his close relationship with him, I doubt they'll let him off the hook anytime soon. It remains to be seen if that implication is precise, but won't it be interesting to find out if this is where his actions come back to bite him? I would certainly agree. And now, let's get back to the original programming. The charges against P. Diddy have caused onlookers to interpret Justin's song, Lonely, from his 5th album, Changes, from a more tragic perspective, and began to realize they were too harsh on him when his chaotic behavior was covered extensively in the mainstream media. It was hard for me to listen to the song without wishing I could reassure him that the high cost he paid to make his name is not his fault. Patty herself is a completely flawed individual that was in a terrible place when she was around the same age her son was. She was no stranger to substance abuse, dealing with depression, and having done awful things like shoplifting, so I had expectations she'd be firm about leading him back in the right direction so he wouldn't repeat her mistakes. She meant well as a parent by being supportive of Justin's aspirations, but I think she still needed guidance before letting him run wild in a world where his every move will be scrutinized. Dealing with all of that while learning how to navigate changes that puberty brings can ruin a child star's outlook on the world, as with the case with Amanda Bynes. She endured a similar mental health crisis in late 2012 into 2013 that resulted in an involuntary stay in a psychiatric hospital. Having relived that period in her life through writing her memoir, Patty encouraged Justin to never lose sight of who he is and that she'll always believe in him. It's a blessing she hasn't failed entirely as a parent, and both mother and son still maintain a strong relationship. Justin's poor mental health that developed as a result of growing up too fast in the spotlight and inadequate crowd control soured his relationship with his fans. Justin was scheduled to perform at Roosevelt Field Mall in Long Island in 2010, but an attendee that incorrectly stated that he arrived sparked pandemonium that left another fan hospitalized. It prompted the police to urge Scooter Braun to post a tweet to announce the event has been canceled. According to them, he allegedly flat-out refused and was willing to forego public safety to promote Justin's debut album. No cancellation was officially made until Justin had to tweet that his so-called fatherly figure was apprehended for defying safety precautions to make a quick buck. Scooter pleaded not guilty to the misdemeanor charges against him, and Justin wholeheartedly supported him because he was the dude that made his career. Why else would he vouch for him back then? The continuous invasions of Justin's privacy and rowdy fans in concerts that were throwing objects at him twisted that knife. It should be common courtesy to not throw crap at performers nor hound them for a selfie, period, and it's gotten worse since the pandemic waned enough for people to go outside again. During one of his April 2013 concerts for his Believe tour, when several attendees were throwing articles of clothing at him, Justin halted his performance to lecture the audience about how he could have been injured by one had he carried on performing.
When I love someone, I don't throw things at them. See, look at maybe. See, now it's just getting out of hand. I think you guys should keep your belongings. I love you, and I love the fact that you guys want to give me things, especially these. These aren't bad, but at the end of the day, I got to perform on this stage, right? You guys want to see me perform and dance and do some dance moves and stuff. There's a heart right here. I know that's a nice gesture, but look at this. If I slip on that, that's not a good thing. But back to the show. I want to let you know that I'm grateful for each and every one of you here. So I think I'm going to take it back and slow it down for each one of you ladies in the audience. See, again, throwing things on stage, not cool.
I also found out through an article on Teen Vogue that a VIP package on the same tour that came with a photo op with Justin Bieber was $2,000. It tremendously upset thousands of fans that had longed for a chance to meet him. While I emphasized that the fee for that experience was far too extravagant for the average Joe to afford and that it doesn't seem fair, on the other hand, since Justin is a global phenomenon that's barely treated as human and that every fan wanted to get close to him, I think the cost of that meet and greet was justified. The attendee should have been kicked out and blacklisted from venues where Justin is performing, but the fact they were allowed to stay, as far as I know, demonstrates his patience and gratitude for his fans that came to see him live. But it quickly got to a point where he had enough. He abruptly walked off stage in Oslo, Norway after performing one song in 2015 because fans kept grabbing at his feet while he was cleaning a spill on stage. And a year later, he canceled his meet and greets in an Instagram post where he opened up about how they were emotionally exhausting for him. He apologized for any disappointment his more civilized fans may have been feeling and hoped they understood that his personal health comes first. As much as it stings for a fan to not have the interaction with their idol that they had hoped, especially with an icon as big as Justin Bieber, I feel more sympathy for him when he said that fans don't want a conversation with him anymore, and he felt like a zoo animal. It is a heartbreaking analogy that drove me to treat the interactions I have with celebrities I meet like I'm making a new friend. Emma Watson shared that sentiment when she decided to decline taking selfies with fans to deter stalkers. A couple years ago on my channel, I talked about the interview she did with Vanity Fair, but I feel the need to bring it up again because it is relevant to how Justin is feeling toward these unpleasant interactions, and in the previous spring, Chappelle Roan had to firmly set boundaries because multiple fans wouldn't stop invading her personal space in public. She was called ungrateful, rude, and stuck up simply for declining the request, and that is a completely disgusting, entitled response to someone that wants to lead a normal life off camera. I get it. You don't have to buy Justin's albums if you don't want to. That is your choice as a consumer. But if you do choose to buy an album that he released, that is absolutely no excuse to hound him for a picture even after he said no. Thinking that you're entitled to that means you're exactly the person that he and Chappelle are calling out. In other words, you're part of the issue. In her interview with Vanity Fair back in 2017, Emma said that if someone takes a photograph of me and posts it within 2 seconds, they've created a marker of exactly where I am within 10 meters. They can see what I'm wearing and who I'm with. I just can't give that tracking data. She further went on to state that she has to carefully pick and choose her moment to interact. When is she a celebrity sighting versus when is she going to make someone's frickin' week? Children she doesn't say no to, for example. Other examples include a selfie she took with a fellow participant at a women's march and her willingness to stop by for pictures at movie premieres, aka events where fan interactions are anticipated. She's willing to have a conversation and sign autographs if you bump into her otherwise, but don't be disappointed if she doesn't make an exception for you on a no selfie rule. The same goes for an unexpected encounter with Justin Bieber. I couldn't find Scooter Braun's comment on his reel where he revealed he had facial paralysis. I'm assuming he deleted it because of the backlash he was getting from the believers that can't stand him, but the power imbalance in the relationship, aka Justin having to look out for Scooter as opposed to the other way around, persuaded them to be certain that it wasn't healthy. Taking in an impoverished 13-year-old boy with promising talent and raised by a single mother indicated that he recruited him specifically because it was easier to shape into a cash cow. I'm not claiming that it is entirely his intention. I still want to believe that he was looking out for him, but what he, Demi Lovato, and Ariana Grande have in common is that they aren't mentally stable individuals. That's not to say that people with poor mental health are unintelligent, so no offense to them, but those who are in dark places and aren't sure if there's any way out are easier to manipulate for personal gain. When we take entertainment lawyer Larry Katz's consultation with Billboard into consideration, knowing how damaging Justin's relationship with Scooter was made out to be, there might be cause for him to end his contract early. Katz stated that the only hurdle an artist would have to overcome to prematurely terminate the relationship with their manager is if they can present a clearly established pattern of failure by that manager, which I'm certain is taking place behind the scenes because before Justin unfollowed Scooter, neither of them have spoken to each other in months. A source reported that Justin has outgrown Scooter and the relationship has run its course, as it should, because the thing about father-son relationships, if we're still using that dynamic, is that the father must learn to accept the older his son gets, the less he'll be needed in his life. Despite obviously being sad to see him go, Scooter Braun is still going to receive an enormous cut if Justin decides to take that route, though it is relieving that he is coming up with a backup plan. Scooter's transition to CEO would mean that he won't be around as much to work with him directly. It is probably going to be isolating and awkward for the next couple of years, so I don't blame him for wanting to leave early. Handfuls of talent agents will be more than delighted to work with Justin, so hopefully, whoever he will be working with next will be mindful of his well-being. Anyway, you guys can let me know what you think in the comments below. I've been waiting to talk about this since I've started this channel, and I'm thrilled I finally have a chance to do it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I talk about how Taylor Swift would have suffered had she agreed to sign back with Big Mission Records. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Go.